What's going on, my soul family? Welcome back to another episode of the Awake with Jake show. On today's episode, I'm going to be dropping in and sharing with you things that lower your energy and things that raise your energy. And I'll be starting with the things that lower your energy, moving from the lower vibrational, denser vibrational things into the higher vibrational things, moving from the dark into the light. And we all embody both dark and light aspects of self. So these are things that I've learned throughout my healing journey and throughout my life, and some things that I really wish that I knew earlier on that would have helped me a lot to increase vibrational energy. Now, if you're not familiar with what vibrational energy is, basically we are all vibrational energy. We are all one energy coming from the God energy or source energy consciousness, okay? So you have manifested in a physical form known as a human body. Your soul took on a birth, and here you are. Here we are in this cosmic soup being stirred around right now, especially everything going on within the collective energetic field. You may be feeling a lot of turbulence, and you may feel like your energy has been very low over the past few months. But right now, more than ever, there is a great awakening happening within all of us. The veils are being lifted. The illusions of who we think we are, our identities of self, are being destroyed and dismantled. The demonic entities on this planet are being exposed, and we are now seeing all of that corruption, all of that darkness being brought to light. So the more we heal and harmonize ourselves, the more we destroy the lower vibrational aspects on this planet, and we return into the frequency of love. Now, before I get into this episode, I want to share with you that my next spiritual healing retreat is September 25th through the 29th. This is 5 days of the most intense transformational work you can ever do. We do inner child healing, guided meditations, breath work, dancing, ceremonial bonfires, yoga, sound bath healing. The food is world class, prepared by a world class plant-based chef. The retreat center itself is so sacred. It sits in a vortex at the base of these beautiful Catskill Mountains. This is so intense, and this is my favorite retreat that I do. It's the only one I'm offering of 2020, and it's in the fall where the leaves are changing. We're going to be bringing in anywhere from 30 to 50 souls from around the world to be in a deep, intimate, safe setting to really explore the shadow parts of yourself that hold you back from being your true, authentic self. So if you feel called to doing this type of work, this is the only one that I'm offering for 2020, and I would love for you to be there. Go to jakewoodard.com/retreats to sign up today. The spaces are limited, and all past retreats have sold out. So let's get right into the things that lower your energy. And by the way, I forgot to tell you this. I love you. Yes, I love you. And you may be thinking, well, Jake, you don't even know me. But people can spread hate so easily. Why can't I spread love so easily? So I love you. And if no one has told you that lately, I'm here to remind you of that. I love you. And I want those words to resonate with your being, to allow yourself to receive that even if it feels uncomfortable. Feel that. The first thing I have is complaining. I think it's so easy to get caught in the trap of complaining because a lot of our programming is very negative. You know, we've all been brought into this reality, this physical reality where we are heavily programmed to think negative. We are desensitized in movies through violence because how many times you probably heard people say, oh, it's just a movie. They're only killing each other in a movie. So when it happens in the physical reality, we're already desensitized to it. So it's really easy to get caught up in the drama and the negativity of things and sucked into that lower vibrational frequency. So if you find yourself complaining about things, just pull back and really evaluate your energy and see how your body feels. And as I go down through this list of things that lower your energy, I want you to tune into your body consciousness, your body's wisdom, and ask yourself, does complaining lower my vibration? Does chatting about negative things make me feel denser and kind of heavier and thick? I'm just going to give it to you straight right now, okay? Some of these things may be triggering because you're like, oh, shit, that's me. I'm doing that, right? So this is about awareness. And with awareness, we can transform. With awareness, we can elevate our vibration. The next thing I have is comparing. Something I used to do a lot of, especially as I was getting into the world of healing and life coaching and motivational speaking. I would compare myself to people that had been doing it for 10, 15, 20 years. And I would feel so bad about myself. I'm like, well, why am I not there? Right? Maybe you do this to other people on Instagram that look really nice and have a great body, or they have a successful business and, they post their highlight reel, and you sit there and you judge yourself based on their highlight reel and the movie of their life. And that's really empty. Okay. That's really empty. Seeking external validation is empty. You'll never be fulfilled through the external if you're not filled from the internal. Woo-hoo! You'll never be fulfilled from the external if you cannot be fulfilled from the internal. Meaning if you don't have a connection to your soul, if you don't have a connection to the God energy that flows within you and through you at all times, you will always long for external validation. You will find yourself always comparing yourself to other people and never feeling enough. And maybe this is something that originated in your childhood. Maybe you didn't have a dad that gave you the love and support that you needed, or maybe it was your mother and you constantly longed for their love and their validation, but it was never there. And maybe you're still longing for that. So you manifest partners based on the need for approval, the need for acceptance. That is such an empty feeling. When you love and validate yourself, the game changes. The game changes when you can love and validate yourself and stop allowing your ego to cling to the desire of needing external validation. Love and validate yourself. That's what it's all about. Feeling fulfilled from within, not without. Toxic foods. I think this one's pretty obvious. And coming from a person who was 80 pounds heavier than I am right now, and I've lost all that weight, and I've transformed my physical body, I've transformed my emotional body, my mental body, I am all about transformation. Toxic foods, like eating junk foods, sugary, processed, all that garbage and loaded with chemicals and dead foods, they lower your vibration. They lower the frequency of your body, okay? If you are consuming dead foods that have sat on a shelf in a box, or chopped up meats and animal parts and things that don't have life force, then you're going to feel those. You're going to feel that vibration of that energy. Okay. So me personally, I eat an all plant-based diet, and that works really well for me. Okay. I'm not recommending you do that, but I invite you to eat foods that are living foods, that are alive, that have life force, that get energy from the sun and the mother, the Father, Son, and the Mother Earth, that are living when you put them in your body. Doesn't that just make sense to have something that has electrical frequency that you're putting in your body? That's why I recently got into growing my own food, having a garden. And if you can do this, if you have a little windowsill, maybe you start small and you grow some basil or you grow some herbs in your windowsill. You can pretty much do that anywhere. You don't need to have a big plot of land to grow a garden. I mean, yeah, it'd be awesome if you had that. But if you don't, start in your windowsill. Grow some small herbs in your window. And you'll notice that you have a connection to these plants that are living, that are alive. And this is just obviously ideas. Another thing too is water. Getting a quality water source, having a good water filtration system. Something that I use is the Berkey water filtration system, Berkey. Or if you don't have access to getting one of those, then findaspring.org is another place that you can go and find a local spring where you get the spring water from fresh. And that's something that I've done a lot in my life as well. A good water source and a high quality organic, meaning not pesticide sprayed foods and dead foods, diet rich in minerals and vitamins, things that, they don't tell you to do on the news to boost your immune system, to eat the fruits and veggies and drink pure water. Nope, the news wants you to live in fear and doom and destruction. Ooh, that's some good tea right there. I hope you're having an amazing day, by the way. I'm fired up today. I'm feeling it today. You know, there's been a lot going on in the collective energetic field, but I'm feeling it. And I want you to feel it with me. Another thing we got on this list for lowering the vibrational energy is worrying. Whew. Are you a worry wart? Is that what they call it? A worry wart? Yeah. You know, I think this is something that I did a lot in my life. I worried about things. I worried about what people thought about me. I worried about making money. I worried about having the right career path. I worried about what my family thought. I worried about what my friends thought. But truly, when I got to the point in my experience where I became my true authentic self, it was almost like I stopped giving a shit about what other people thought about me. How freeing is that? To not care what other people think, to not worry about what other people think. Now, worrying comes from a place of guilt and feeling bad. I just feel bad. I just feel bad for them. I just worry about them. I just worry about that. I would invite you to delete, almost like a corrupt file, delete that worrying from your system and free yourself. Stop worrying about what other people think about you. How good your posts look on social media, how much money you make, how much you're validated by your friends and family. Like when you're truly free, you stop worrying about the external. I can't stress this enough. When you free yourself of the worry about what other people think and you worry about this whole human experience, you transcend all that because the ego loves to worry. And when you transcend the ego, you can come into soul consciousness. Now, another message that's coming through right now in this very moment is something I need to share with you. The universe is waiting for you to take a step, okay? The universe is waiting for you to take a step. She is waiting for you to take a step. If you are living in the fearful vibration of worry, shame, guilt, all that stuff, she cannot step with you. It's almost like you're paralyzed to step forward energetically. And she's waiting because when you step, she'll step with you. But if you're not willing to step forward into your sacred calling, into your purpose, or whatever you want to call it, into true source alignment, then she will not step with you because she won't think you're for real. She will not think you're for real. She's like, I can't give them the milk of my universal bosom. I can't give them my cosmic milk if they're not willing to take a step forward into the fear, into the unknown, into the shadows. So I invite you, if you want to drink from her cosmic milk, from her cosmic bosom, to step forward into who you really are. But if you have to do this, then you would have to let go of who you think you are. If you want to do that, if you want to free yourself, you have to shed the illusions, the veils, which is really what's happening right now at an energetic level of who you think you are. Because who you think you are is probably not who you are, okay? You know, you're like, oh, well, I'm a mother and I'm 37 years old and I have 3 kids and I work at a bank. That's not who you are. That's what you are. That's what your ego thinks you are. That's what other egos think you are. And you've done a pretty good job being a somebody in this life. But the goal is to become a nobody. I'm gonna pin that one right there. Moving right along here. People pleasing. You notice how these are all tied in, interwoven together like the universal fabric. People pleasing. Do you feel good energetically when you people please? No. And here's the truth. If a person in your life allows you to people please, it says a lot about their relationship and their respect for you. So if you're in a relationship with a person and you just find yourself walking on eggshells, that relationship is probably not serving your path. Well, in this moment it is because you're having to learn to stop people pleasing. And I'm talking about all relationships, whether romantic, friendship, family. Stop the people pleasing. Repeat this out loud with me right now. I release people pleasing from my system. I will no longer people please. Not being aligned with your truth is the next thing. And this is very difficult because a lot of people don't know who they are and they don't know what their truth is. So they're very easily swayed by the opinions of others, by the media that promotes fear and shoves their agenda down your throats, and you get programmed to believe it in the movies, and we worship these celebrities that are also just promoting the elites' agenda. So is the media, and through these movies and different outlets. But the thing is, when you have your own truth, you stop getting swayed by the opinions and the imbalances of other people. Okay. Because in all honesty, I'm going to be real transparent right here. A lot of beings on this earth don't have the best intention because they also don't know who they are. So when you're coming from an impure place of you don't know who you are, it's very easy to project your wounds, your unconscious wounds onto other people. Now, there's a lot of that happening right now, and a lot of people's unexpressed and unresolved pain is being brought to the surface. Okay. So it's really important right now more than ever to stand in your truth with the presence of God. Standing in your truth with the presence of God energy. Invite that into your space. If you don't know your truth, invite the presence of Source or God energy or Joe, whatever you want to call them. You can call it freaking Sally for all I care. Whatever you want to relate to the higher source energy. Invite that into your space. Connect to this divine energy. Stop being swayed by the external world. Stop being swayed by the media or the news or what you see on social media. Stop being swayed by all that. Stop getting sucked into that negative vibrational vortex. It is draining you. Imagine yourself like a cell phone. And every time you allow yourself to get caught in that trap, you get sucked in and your battery gets drained. Do you want to keep allowing that? Are you going to keep allowing that? Ooh, it's hot. Overthinking is the next thing I have. Overthinking. Now, this is really coming from a place of wounded masculinity because the logic of the masculine has been exploited and the sexuality of the feminine has been exploited. So what we're seeing is a conflict of the wounded masculine and the wounded feminine. And this is something that I cover in really deep depth, and I train this inside of my healing course. If you haven't enrolled for that yet, I highly recommend it. The wounded masculine is always in the mind, always thinking logically, strategizing, planning, organizing, thinking, judging, comparing, contrasting, living in the mind. Now, most people feel the strength, fear the vibration of their heart, the feminine heart. So they hide out in their logical mind because it's very easy, it's very safe, it's very cozy and comfy there. But really, your mind perpetuates your suffering. Your mind is your karma. Your mind veils you from seeing your truth. Your mind veils you from truly connecting to God energy. Because it's always living in the future and the past. It's never in the present moment. Hello. Hello, Mr. or Mrs. Mind. Where you at? Thinking, judging, comparing, contrasting. Let that go. Let it go. It does not serve you. Let it go and let it flow. All right? Stop forcing things to work. Stop trying to change people. Stop trying to fix people. Stop trying to always live in the mind and live in a place of mind-heart coherence. Imagine if you could have mind-heart coherence, which you can, okay? That's a possibility. The next thing I have is fear, guilt, shame. Now, these are the lower vibrational aspects that a lot of us, including myself for a very long time, have imprinted upon us from our parents, from society, from all the different stuff, from the dark shadows of this physical plane, of this earthly plane. And we get those embedded into our system. We get those embedded into our energetic field, and they're very hard to get out. And it's very easy for demonic-like entities to attach themselves to us when we're vibrating in a low frequency. Okay, and these demonic-like entities, which I have recently come in contact with, they are real, okay? I saw them, they're real, yellow eyes, red faces. Now, if you're hearing this for the first time, you're probably like, whoa, that sounds crazy. That's something like you'd see in a movie, right? It's a movie. I saw that in a movie. Because they're desensitizing you, okay? They're desensitizing you to think that demonic entities really don't exist. That's made up. It's in a movie. But where does it come from? Someone had to experience it at some point. And I'm telling you from firsthand experience that my demonic entity was anger. The one that I released was deeply lodged in my system, which was anger. Yours may be shame. Yours may be guilt. Yours may be fear. But whatever it is, it doesn't matter. When you bring awareness to it and you purge that demonic entity from your system, it's literally like pulling weights off your back. So maybe this is resonating with you right now. Maybe you're feeling like, wow, I carry a lot of heaviness. I carry a lot of guilt from my past. That energy is like a parasite feeding on your vibrational energy, feeding on it, hungry, 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 hungry. I don't know where all this energy is coming through right now. I'm just having fun. I invite you to have fun too. I get so damn serious all the time. This is good stuff today. Stored trauma in your body, blocked energy centers. So if you're familiar with the chakra system, we have 7 energy centers in our body. Now, most people get blocked in the first 3. The root chakra, which is safety, security, survival. So if you grew up in a household that was very unsafe and your home was very unsafe, then you may have blocked energy in your root chakra. And that could manifest as physical pain in your hips, in your lower spine, in your lower back as well. So energy centers in the bottom 3. The first one is the root. Second one is the sacral, which is all about sexuality and expression and creativity. Now, if you've had some type of sexual trauma, maybe abuse or rape, that can get stored in your sexual chakra, the sacral chakra. So the more you go into that and you heal these lower, denser, unresolved frequencies, then you can heal that and you can get up into the higher heart, into the throat chakra, into the third eye, into the crown. Okay. The third chakra is your solar plexus chakra, which is the place of personal power. So if you had a mother or a father who was very repressive and stuffed you down and took all your power away, you could have a blocked energetic system in your third chakra of your personal power. Now, a lot of people, like I said, have the first 3 blocked and they get into what I call root chakra relationships. Actually, I just totally made that up and it sounds pretty damn good. We're going to call that a root chakra relationship where you attract each other based on your own wounds and you're like, oh, well, you're wounded. I'm wounded too. Let's be wounded together. And then a few months down the road, 6, 7, 8 months, maybe 6 years, maybe 16 years. I don't know how long you're together and whoever doesn't matter, but because time is an illusion, you look at that person, you're like, what the hell am I doing with you? And they look at you and they're like, what the hell am I doing with you? Oh, we were attracted based off our root chakra wounds, our feeling of insecurity, safety, and survival. We attracted each other because we thought that our egos needed each other in order to stay safe in this life. And you did a pretty good job of masking all of your wounds for a lot of the relationship. But now as you're awakening and you're here with the Awake with Jake show and with all of us in the non-physical as well, you're starting to say, what the hell am I doing in this relationship? And that's when you really get to confront it of why am I in this relationship? Well, I don't know what I would do financially. I don't know what I would do with the kids. I don't know what I would do with the house. And you built all these root chakra things for safety, security, survival, and you don't know how to exit it. And it's very difficult. And I understand. I get it. I feel your pain. It's totally valid. But the question is, if it's not truly serving your deepest heart's desires, then you really got to ask yourself, what am I going to do to release this? What steps am I taking to release this lower vibrational relationship? And it's very difficult, but it's possible. And I'm here to remind you of that you deserve a beautiful, loving relationship, a divine union. Don't forget that. Trying to change people is the next one I have. This is very exhausting. And when I first got into the whole healing space, I just wanted to help everyone. But one of the most valuable things that I've learned, and if you're a healer in the life coaching space or whatever you're doing, one of the most valuable things that I've learned is to not work with people who are resistant. I will not work with a person who I feel is resistant to change because I can't help them. It does not matter how good of a healer or coach I am. I cannot help a person if they are unwilling to change. I can't do it. I can't do it. And I don't invite you to do it either. Do not work with people who are resistant. Do not date people or have relationships with people who are resistant to love, who try to just manipulate you and control you and force things to work. And don't do those things. They lower your vibration. And the last thing I have for things that lower your energy, I'm sure there's a bunch of other things in the universe that lower your energy, is the imbalanced masculine and feminine energy. Now, as I was saying earlier with the exploitation of the masculine being all in the logic and the exploitation of the feminine, people overusing their sexuality to get things, we see a lot of that happening right now. That's the imbalances of the masculine and feminine. And there's no sacred connection, very little sacred connection to sacred sexuality, to the safety and the support of the masculine energy. A lot of people don't feel safe because of the wounded masculine energy. And they're deeply traumatized by this. So we all carry both the masculine and feminine energies, as most of you probably know right now listening to this. But a lot of times those masculine and feminine energies, the yin and the yang energies, become imbalanced within our system. So for example, what I see a lot of with the women that I work with is they are too in their masculine and they're always working, structuring, providing, protecting, leading. And they're never really allowing their feminine energy to come out to play, which is really the playfulness and the radiance and the vibrancy is what the masculine is attracted to. Now, with a lot of men that I see is they can't root themselves in their sacred masculine energy because it's so wounded. They've been taught by their fathers to be machismo, to be tough, to be armored, to be guarded, that crying is for little babies. Yeah, okay, all right. Yep, I was the same guy. I went through that whole shebang, the machismo tough guy, all jacked up, thought I was big, bad. It's all bullshit. It's all facade. It's all armor. You don't need that in this life. And if you're carrying that big masculine shield because you're so afraid of this world, I invite you to start letting it down. Let it down. Allow yourself to become vulnerable. Allow yourself to truly transcend this pain. And it's difficult. It's a difficult journey. But once again, I share with you all of these things because I have transcended them myself. And if I can do it, you can do it. And once again, the masculine and feminine energy, if you're really more interested in that, I teach all of that in depth inside of my online course. It has video modules, guided meditations, worksheets. The students that have gone through it are getting tremendous results, and it's really awesome. Now we're going to transcend into, I like that word, transcend. We're going to rock with that today. We're going to transcend into the things that actually raise your vibrational energy. And this is an important part of the episode. So if you need to take a coffee break, grab your coffee. We'll be right back. Or your tea or your water, whatever you're drinking, your universal crunk juice, get you some of that. Yeah, we all need a little universal crunk juice in our life. So it's Friday. It's time for some universal crunk juice, and we're gonna tune it up here. And I'm excited. You know, I'm excited about life. I'm excited about this human experience. The first thing that I have is gratitude. Gratitude. A practice that I've developed over the years is before I eat, I just simply sit there with my eyes closed. I thank my body. I thank Mother Earth. I thank God. And I thank all the abundance and love of my life for this food, for these nutrients. I think about the origin of where it came from. And I take 20 to 30 seconds to just allow myself to connect to that food. And I'm grateful for that food. And I often practice throughout the day, like I'm so grateful for my following. I'm so grateful for the people that love and support and share my work, my podcast, my Instagram post. I'm so grateful for these things. I'm so grateful for the food that I just consumed. I'm so grateful for the sun shining. I'm so grateful for the wind blowing. And it's very simple. With gratitude, everything grows. So develop a practice of being grateful. Don't be ungrateful. Develop the practice of saying thank you. Like, it's pretty simple. These are like things that we were taught in like the first and second grade, but we've forgotten our childlike innocence and our purity. The next thing I have is forgiveness. Now, this one hits home hard for me because, as many of you know, my father was very abusive physically and emotionally. He tried killing me multiple times, and I grew up in a very rough, toxic environment. But forgiveness has allowed me to cut that energetic cord that I had with my father. And it took many years to sever this cord. Many years to sever this cord. But I can remember when I first got into healing and spirituality many, many, many years ago. It feels like now. But once again, time is an illusion. I was sitting there on this couch and I started crying. I started crying this deep cry. And I visualized the image of my father. And I just started pouring the words out loud. I forgive you, Dad. I forgive you, Dad. I forgive you, Dad. And as I was doing that, these tears were rolling down my face and they were hitting the floor so loud. It was like smacking the floor. It was so loud. And that's really when it activated the sacred healing. And it was almost like, it was like a mother, the mother energy, the divine feminine was just holding me as I was just purifying and processing and cleansing this out. That's the unconditional love of the mother. And I was connecting to that place in myself where I could really release and purge this hatred that I had towards my dad, which is really the reflection of the hatred that I had towards myself. So when we transcend this pain, we go deeper into it, everything begins to shift. Forgiveness is powerful. So what I would invite you to do is, who in your life do you need to forgive? Really sit with that. Who in your life do you need to forgive? Who has hurt you so bad that caused your heart to close? Is it yourself? Is it someone that raped you or abused you physically, emotionally? Someone that broke your heart? Who do you need to forgive? Conscious breathing. As you can hear me, sometimes I breathe deeply. And I've learned to do this, and it's a trained practice through changing my breathing from a lower belly breath in through my nose, expanding my belly and out through my mouth. Now there's thousands of different types of breathing techniques, and you can do more research on this yourself, but just developing conscious breath. Conscious breath. The breath is the first thing that you're born with and the last thing you will die with. When you come into this world, you breathe in life, and then when you leave this world, you exhale life. Interesting thought, right? So develop a relationship to your breath, to the frequency of your breath, to the frequency of the divine breath, of God's breath, and breathe that universal breath through you. Just do it here with me. 3 of them. Breathing in through your nose. 1. 2. 3. Very good. Moving right along. Meditation. Meditation is something that I've been doing for many years, about over 6 years now. And when I first started meditating, my mind was so wild and so crazy. I couldn't sit still. I was fidgeting, blah, blah, blah. Like I was the kid that had been diagnosed with ADHD, ADD, every single thing that you could possibly imagine that the doctors would want to prescribe me with. They would have probably tried to give me, but luckily that it didn't happen and I wasn't numbed out through any types of medication. And I'm very grateful for that. See, back to gratitude. So meditation allowed me to calm my mind, calm my anxiety, calm my stress. And I think it's really important to have a daily practice of meditation. Meditation allows us to create space within ourselves, to not be so reactive to life. So if you don't have a daily meditation practice right now, I highly recommend it. And I have guided meditations on my podcast that you can listen to if you're just getting into it. But I highly recommend meditation. I really do recommend meditation. And the next thing that I have is the universal flow through movement. So having a daily practice of some type of formal meditation in parallel to a movement dance, something like a primal feminine dance, doing different movements to really activate that feminine energy. Whereas the formal meditation is more like activating your inner masculine, where the primal feminine dance and the flow through sensuality and sexuality is really helping to activate your inner feminine. And remember, you have both of these energies. Next thing I have is energy healing. Going back to what I said in the first phase of the things that lower your vibration, talking about the blocked energy centers, energy healing can help to open up these energy centers in your body. And this is something that we really focus on at my retreats, is the energy healing, to open up all the chakras, to align with your higher self, to let this energy, this cosmic energy, flow up and down and all around through you like a little river, right? Just flowing and feeling that flow, baby. That's what it's all about right there. Next thing I have is presence. Presence. Remember, the ego mind wants to pull you into the future, wants to pull you into the past. But when you train yourself to be in the present moment, not only is it super attractive to people that you're talking to, actually being present with them, but you are not worrying and stressing about the future in the past. So be present. Be present. I am here now. I am here now. And you just repeat that to yourself. I am here now. I live in the eternal present. I live in the eternal present. So if you find yourself really stressing out, really wandering with your mind, pull yourself back into the present moment gently. Bring yourself back into the now moment, which is the eternal present moment. Self-love. I know it's very difficult for the world that we live in that is perceived as selfish if you put yourself first. But I believe that putting yourself first and working on your vibration means that you can step more into a higher vibration and bring more of that energy into the world. The only thing that you can offer another person, another being, is your own energy. So if your energy is kind of low and you don't have much self-love and you're holding on to a lot of anger and grief, you're offering that to other people. So if you're dehydrated, you can't help someone else become hydrated, right? So take a sip out of the beautiful cosmic milk. I keep coming through with this cosmic milk, the cosmic water flow, whatever you want to call it. And allow yourself to drink from that and give that to yourself first. And then once you are in the flow of the universe and your vibration is nice and tuned in, imagine how much more powerful you can show up in the world, how much more powerful you can show up in relationships, how much more powerful you can show up at your job or your work. That's when things start to really align, when you work on yourself and you practice self-love. But we're so taught not to love ourselves, to love other people, to seek our other half. But how conflicting is that? To look your whole life for a half a person, meaning that you're half yourself. So you need someone else to complete you. I'm looking for my other half. She's my better half. He's my better half. No. You are whole and complete. And when you are whole and complete, you attract someone vibrationally, a vibrational match who is also whole and complete. That's what it's all about. Healthy boundaries. If you allow people into your space that are like energetic vampires and they're parasites and they feed on your energy and they call you when they need something, and that's when they only come around is when they have a question about something, set a boundary with them. Say to them, listen, our relationship does not serve me. It's either going to need to be raised vibrationally or I have to release it. And you can say this internally first, and if it doesn't change in the external, then say it to them in person. I need you to honor my space. I need you to stop contacting me. Honor your no. If something doesn't resonate with you, if something doesn't align with your being, say no. You have the universal right to say no, this does not serve me. I do not want this. And here's the beautiful part about this. When you say no, this doesn't serve me, guess what? You create space. You clear out your energetic field to call in what does serve you, baby. That's what it's all about. So if let's say you owned a business and you have 2 or 3 employees in there right now, and one of those employees is a real problem, but you're people pleasing and you're like, I don't want to fire them and I don't want to let them go. The thing is, when you hold on to that person that doesn't serve you, doesn't serve your business, doesn't really care about your business, you block higher vibrational customers from coming in, higher vibrational workers, employees, clients. You block up your energetic field when you hold on to what doesn't serve you. That's what we have to do. We have to release from us what does not serve our energetic field. And when we do that, we can clean up the space, clean up the energetic space. The next thing I have is love, joy, and compassion. When we anchor into love, joy, and compassion, we are transcending the lower vibrations of fear, shame, guilt, anger, all these lower things, and we're truly rooted in love. When you know who you are, you've practiced self-love, and you really truly are aligned with yourself, you accept yourself as whole and complete, and you anchor into the love, joy, and compassion, you feel energetically lighter. It is such a better feeling to be anchored in those things. So I invite you to step forward into your loving heart and root down strong into love. Healing wounds. So what I mean by this is going into the shadows, doing shadow work around the unresolved trauma and pain that you have. And I'm curious to know, what things in your life do not serve your path? What things have caused you to be wounded that you haven't healed? Heal those wounds and close them up and watch how much better you start to feel. Healing emotional wounds is so powerful and will literally trickle into all areas of your life. Letting people be who they are is the next thing that I have, which is very difficult because our mind wants to fix other people, wants to change other people. But if you noticed, how drained does your energy feel when you're trying to change people, when you're trying to fix people, you're trying to force a relationship to work? But how much better do you feel when you're just like, oh, I'll let them be who they're being? Because they are being exactly who they are supposed to be, even if it doesn't align with the model that you have built of who they're supposed to be. Just work on yourself and be the change yourself. Don't go around trying to fix others and change others. That will suck the energy, the life force out of you. And the last thing that I have is having harmony with your inner masculine and your inner feminine energies. When you have a healthy relationship to your inner feminine and your inner masculine, that manifests in the physical world, maybe as a divine partner, maybe as a healthy, flowing relationship with your business, having good structure in your business while having the flow of the feminine energy in your business. So having the healthy structure of a masculine structured business, this is just an example, and the creativity, the flow, the expression of the feminine. So everything in the inner world, the masculine and the feminine, is manifesting in the outer world. So if you're attracting people to you, partners, relationships, romantic relationships, who are wounded, take a look at your own masculine and feminine wounds. Thank you so much for watching this today and listening to this and sitting with me and feeling into every little subtle vibration that has come through. And I hope that you found healing in this message. If you did, please take a screenshot of this, share it to your Instagram story, and tag me. And once again, if you would like to be a part of my next healing retreat, go to jakewoodard.com/retreats. I can assure you that this will be the most transformational thing that you've ever experienced. It is truly so sacred and so beautiful. And as always, stay open, stay loving, and stay connected to that beautiful source within you.